Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our 9 p.m. English News Edition. Here are the top stories. The National Drought Emergency Plan continues in Dura. Ceasefire negotiations in Gaza continue in the Middle East. The details in this news edition. We begin this news segment in Dora with the deployment of the mobile medical team for the Tajurrah region as part of the drought response initiated by the head of state. Following the directives from the committee and the Ministry of Health, the mobile medical team from the Tajurrah region has been deployed to respond to the severe drought affecting the sub-prefecture of Dora. The first mission took place in Balho, where nearly 150 people were consulted by the medical team from the regional hospital of Tajurrah. The activities conducted included combating malnutrition through screening and treatment of malnourished children, vaccinating children, providing care for pregnant women, promoting hygiene and community health to prevent water-related diseases. The second location visited was Dora, where many households have been displaced due to the lack of water. The same activities were carried out to meet the urgent needs of this displaced population. The operation was conducted with the support of the Prefect of Tajurrah, Mr. Muhammad Abbas, who coordinated with local authorities, and the newly appointed Director General of the Regional Hospital of Tajurrah, Mr. Dimbio, who oversaw the medical aspect of the field operation. The Vice President of the Regional Council was also present to support and accompany the team, demonstrating the institutional synergy behind this humanitarian response. The operation received the logistical support from the military for transporting teams and equipment, and involvement from the Ministry of Social Affairs and Solidarity, which mobilized several food trucks, animal feed, and water tankers to refill the reservoirs of affected communities. This deployment of the mobile medical team is part of a coordinated national effort to mitigate the impact of the drought on vulnerable population, ensure access to healthcare, malnutrition, and clean water, again, and strengthen community resilience in Dora sub-prefecture. And now a high-level delegation of women parliamentarians led by the Vice President of the National Assembly of Djibouti, Honorable Safia Elmi Jibril, and composed of Honorable Khartoum Farah Saeed, Madam Mrs. Fatuma Daoud, Hibo Ali, Filsan Abdullah, Aisha Habib, and Hussein Abdul Qadir took part in the Regional Conference of Women MPs from IGAD member states on land governance, climate resilience, and gender issues. Also attending the conference were representatives from the Ministry of Women and Family, the Ministry of Budget, and the Ministry of Environment. The meeting was held from July 9th to 11, 2025 in Nairobi, Kenya. The aim of this gathering was to strengthen the capacity of women MP to integrate land governance, climate change, and gender into their legislative agendas. In her remarks, Vice President Honorable Safia Elmi Jibril emphasized the significant growing role of women in Djibouti's political and economic spheres. She underlined the progress made in recent years, particularly in terms of increased female representation within the National Assembly and their active involvement in key decision-making structures at both national and local levels. Her intervention called for continued investment in capacity building, leadership opportunities, and the creation of institutional framework that ensure the effective participation of women in shaping national policies. Now, the Ministry of Women and Family, represented by the Minister Mona Usman Adan, and the United Nations Development Program (UNDP), represented by Mrs. Emma, officially handed over the keys of the Women's Empowerment Center in Arta. The ceremony was held in the presence of the President of the Regional Council, Mr. Elmi Bouhgoud Adde, the Acting Prefect of Arta, Mr. Mohamed Fouzi, and the Secretary General of the UNFD. This inauguration marks the final milestone of FME project, strengthening the empowerment of women and girls in Djibouti, funded by the European Union, which aims to promote the socio-economic autonomy of women, especially in rural areas. More than just a building, the CAF was envisioned by the MFF and the EU and the UNDP as a true incubator for women's talent, providing access to guidance in business management, marketing, formalization of activities, and networking opportunities. The center will not only foster female entrepreneurship but also provide a safe and supportive space for women to rebuild their lives. Services will include counseling, local assistance, and professional integration support in partnership with specialized social organizations. The center stands as a symbol of shared commitment by the government of Djibouti, the European Union, and the UNDP to build a more inclusive society where every woman, regardless of her background, has the opportunity to realize her potential and actively contribute to the region's economic development. This initiative is part of a broader set of actions carried out under the FEMFI project, which has already supported more than 1,120 women and girls across the country through technical training, entrepreneurship support, and employment assistance. The local authorities warmly welcomed the initiative, expressed their deep appreciation for the establishment of the Women's Empowerment Center in Arta. Good Ade, the president of the Regional Council of Arta, emphasized that this initiative responds to real needs on the ground and represents a major step forward in supporting the socio-economic development of women in the region. The authorities also highlighted the importance of continuing collaboration between local institutions, international partners, and civil society to ensure the center's long-term impact and sustainability. And now Mrs. Muna Osman Aden also expressed her satisfaction and pride in witnessing the completion of this important project. She emphasized that the establishment of the Women's Empowerment Center in Arta reflects the government's strong commitment to promoting gender equality and improving the living conditions of women, particularly in rural communities. The minister highlighted this center as a concrete example of how targeted investment can create real opportunities for empowerment, resilience, and inclusive development. And now, a magazine of this edition, the Ministry of Youth and Culture has launched a large-scale driver's license training program aimed at empowering young people. This initiative is part of the National Young Capacity Building Program launched by the Ministry to address major challenges such as unemployment and the lack of practical skills.
The Ministry of Youth and Culture launched a new dynamic for youth integration and cultural promotion. Under the leadership of Her Excellency Dr. Hibu Mumin Asowi, the Minister of Youth and Culture has initiated a new dynamic approach aimed at promoting the professional integration of young people while enhancing national culture. This initiative is fully aligned with the enlightened vision of the Head of State, who is firmly committed to making the youth culture due the spearhead of national development. To this end, the Ministry of Youth and Culture is deploying innovative, tailor-made strategies to create an environment conducive to the social, cultural, economic, and personal empowerment of young people. As part of this effort, the Ministry of Youth and Culture has launched a broad driver's license training program aimed at empowering youth. This series of driver's license trainings, categories B and C, has been rolled out across several regions of the country. The training, offered either at home or in nearby centers, aims to provide young people with practical skills directly applicable to the job market. For example, in the Murjok, in the Arta region, a first session benefited about 40 young people, members of the locally active Destin Association. In Ali Sibeh, several dozen young men and women took advantage of this opportunity. And in the north, in Tajora, nicknamed the White City, 40 young people underwent training at the Community Development Center CDC. In Hayu, a historic city of the Republic, 75 young people, 50 boys and 25 girls, received training with the aim of supporting their integration and empowerment. And last but not least, in the Arta region, at the foot of Mount Ugul, around 60 young people from Arta, Wea, and Karta also benefited from this initiative.
La région d'Obok est la seule à nous avoir demandé un programme.
The Obok region is the only one that requested a women's empowerment program through driver's license training. So I say bravo to that. This request was specifically submitted by Madame Fatoum, who truly works hard for women. It was submitted a little less than a year ago, and today we can say it has been achieved, as the project is launched and it will allow 30 young women to acquire their license and work economically. At each stage, the training sessions included theoretical and practical assessments conducted by inspectors from the Directorate of Mines in order to ensure the highest road safety standards. These initiatives are part of a global, diverse, and structured program promoting entrepreneurship, creativity, skills, development, and the emergence of young talent with income-generating projects. The Ministry of Youth and Culture structures its actions around three key pillars: socio-cultural integration, professional and economic insertion, and instilling Republican, civic, and solidarity values. This triptych forms an essential foundation to strengthen national unity, social cohesion, and civil harmony.
C'est pour moi une immense joie de présider aujourd'hui en votre compagnie cette cérémonie de fin de formation.
It is a great joy for me to preside over this graduation ceremony today, which also marks the distribution of driving license for light and heavy vehicles to 30 young graduates from the Merjok. They successfully completed this training with great enthusiasm and dedication over the past 3 months within their CDCs. Indeed, this project is an innovation of the month for the Ministry of Youth and Culture, as it was technically led by the new Directorate for Youth Economic Integration, and it highlights a key principle for my ministry: proximity. I also commend the driving school for rising to the challenge of delivering this training right here within the CDC. Through these initiatives, the Ministry of Youth and Culture reaffirms its authentic and unwavering commitment to promoting youth employability and empowerment. It is a strong dynamic that places youth at the heart of sustainable development and shared prosperity.
And now, within the framework of the project strengthening the economic autonomy of women in Calaf through sustainable agriculture, funded by the International Organization of OIF through its program, the Francophonie with her, an intensive cooperative management training was organized in Calaf. This session was led by Mr. Abdel Fattah, a community development expert and cooperative management specialist within the Ministry of Social Affairs and Solidarity. The training targeted the founding members of the Calaf Women's Agro-Pastoral Cooperative. This training represents a key milestone in structuring the cooperative by laying the foundation for effective and transparent governance, an essential condition for accession, public support, financing and markets. A well-managed cooperative is a community that takes charge of itself, knows its direction, and builds sustainable solutions for its own future. This day perfectly illustrates the philosophy of the project: to train, structure, and support women so they become active agents of their own development. Sports now. For the inaugural edition of the World Volleyball Day, Djibouti joins many countries around the world in celebrating the sport. On Monday, July 15, the National Agency for the Promotion of Sports organized a special tournament at the King Fahd Sport Complex under the auspices of the State Secretary in charge of sports of Djibouti. This initiative aims to promote volleyball as a sport and to highlight it as a unifying activity that brings together millions of enthusiasts worldwide. The opening ceremony was held in the presence of Mr. Ibrahim Hassan Ibrahim, Director of Sports, Complexes and Training, as well as members of the Djiboutian Volleyball Federation. The tournament brought together several teams from local clubs, providing an exciting sporting spectacle in a friendly and festive atmosphere. This event aligned with the State Secretary's strategy to diversify sport disciplines and to strengthen the integration of international days into the national sports calendar. Sports still as part of the Inclusive Sports Academy project. The Djiboutian Football Federation organized a festival for under 11 boys and girls in Ali Sabih on Tuesday, July 8, 2025, bringing together hundreds of children under the age of 11. The event not only raised awareness of football among the youth, but also strengthened the region's commitment to the sports. The presence of influential figures such as Mr. Saeed Bouha Kamel, member of the Executive Committee of the Djiboutian Football Federation, Mr. Jibril Omar Houch, President of the Regional Football Leagues of Ali Sabih, and Mr. Ilyas, technician of the FDF. Mr. Saeed Bouha extended thanks to the prefect of the region of Asajog, Mr. Abdul Malik Mohammed Benoita, who also highlighted the importance of local partnership in the success of such initiative. This festival represents a significant step towards creating a football culture among young people and potentially nurturing future talents in the region. And now for the international news, as I mentioned on the title, Gaza, a ceasefire negotiation in Gaza continue to evolve. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu expressed a hope Thursday evening to reach an agreement in the coming days. Meanwhile, the Palestinian resistance movement, Hamas, stated it is engaging in negotiations positively and responsibly. However, Hamas accused Netanyahu of obstructing progress, rejecting a proposal for a comprehensive agreement. Hamas also criticized Netanyahu's recent statement to prisoners' families, claiming they reveal ill intentions and deliberate attempt to undermine mediation efforts. On the more than 600 days of the ongoing war in Gaza, the Israeli occupation army carried out deadly overnight airstrikes, including one targeting a school, sheltering displaced persons in Jabalia, northern Gaza Strip, causing casualties. This followed massacres in Thursday that killed 74 Palestinians. Militarily resistance operations against Israeli forces have increased. Israeli sources reported a serious security incident at dawn in northern Gaza. And now the United Nations has allocated 625,000 to support emergency response effort following devastating wildfires in the rural Latakia, northwest Syria, demonstrating continued humanitarian commitment to the Syrian people. Adam, UN humanitarian coordinator in Syria, said the funding will enable humanitarian partners, including the Syrian Arab Red Crescent, to provide swift and effective aid to thousands affected. The funds will cover essential needs such as food, shelter, and medical care delivered with respect for dignity of those impacted. Meanwhile, Syrian civil defense and firefighters continue battling the flames, supported by the firefighting aircraft from Turkey, Jordan, and Lebanon, a notable example of regional solidarity. And ladies and gentlemen, this is it for the 9 p.m. English News edition. Thank you for watching us. Stay tuned for more on RTD.